Hi, my name is Tatiyana Deleon, and this is my presentation PowerPoint for Art 4000. This is my self-portrait. It was done completely in oil pastel, and it is in the center a portrait of me, and in the background the flowers represent my three cultural parts of my family. I am part Japanese, Filipino, and Hispanic, so that's what the flowers are in correlation to the national flowers for each country. And the painting palette and the apple represent my career plans. I am currently going to school for art education and will be graduating the fall of this year, so my plans post graduation will be to become a art teacher in a middle school. This is my color wheel. It is in the shape of a flower, so that's why the leaves are surrounding the value scales on the lower half of it. The center of the flower is brown, so it's the colors that the resulting color of when you mix complementary colors, and the value scales were done with blue and red for the one that is not the typical grayscale one. This is my scale painting. It is a appropriation of two paintings. The first painting is by Renee Magritte, which is titled The Lovers, and the second is by Jan Van Heusen, which is titled Hollyhocks and Other Flowers. It was created fully in tempera paint as well, and it is on a larger scale paper, and I think this is probably my favorite painting from the entirety of the class. These are the original paintings that I used as reference for my art appropriated scale painting piece. This is my object of desire. It was made of, I believe, 2 Amazon cardboard boxes, as well as tempera paint for the outside, and its interior is made of hot glue, duct tape, and notebook paper as filling. And I created the design first on paper, which was seen in the previous slide, and I pretty much made a box shaped structure, and in the interior I used the hot glue and the duct tape to reinforce the shape. And once I made the center rectangular size shape, I then added the details like the ridged side parts of the sharpener and the actual blade of the sharpener, as well as the pencil pieces, and I painted everything afterwards with the paint. This is my paper cutting project. I was inspired by the Chinese cultural paper cutting. It is a landscape of a bunny in a forest with flower trees in the background. This was probably one of my least favorite projects that I completed this semester. I used a box cutter and scissors for majority of the smaller details, but pretty much everything else was done with a box cutter for like the frame and for the actual bunny itself, as well as the clouds and the moon. This is my first sketchbook. The standards that I used are within each picture. The first image is a still life of a plant that we used to have. I no longer have the plant in my house. The second image is a observational drawing of my shoes that I was wearing that day, and the third drawing is a image of a car accident that I was in high school. This is my second sketchbook. It consists of the first image being a observational drawing of my sink in my kitchen. The second drawing is a image of a real necklace that I own, and the third drawing is a cardigan that I draped over a chair in my kitchen of my house. For the first image, for the third sketchbook, it is a vase that I had seen in a museum that I drew directly in front of me. For the second image, it is actually a chair and a table from the classroom that we have class in for this course. And the third image is a drawing of my sister's hand that I had observed across from me at the table in my house. For the fourth sketchbook, the first image is my cell phone, and the second image is the computer that I use to do work at my job outside of school. Requires a lot of computer work, so I'm around that computer a lot. And for the third image, it is in relation to the standard that's written there. So half of it is a two-dimensional heart, and the other half is my actual hand that I referred to while drawing the image. For the sketchbook, the first image is a picture of the plants that I was growing with my students in my classroom. The biggest plant was the classroom plant that we still keep, and the smaller ones were the ones that the students had planted. In the second image, it is another observational drawing of, I believe it was like a Gatorade bottle at the desk in the classroom that I had seen at one point. And the third image was a reference of a real flower that I had in my house, but in 3 different mediums. So the first one was lead pencil, I believe it was. The second was a drawing pencil, and the third was black pen. For the last sketchbook, the first image is a real life reference of my hand holding like a stress ball, like a cube shaped stress ball. And for the second image, it is the same 2 stress balls alongside flowers. So in relation to the standard, it's reflecting like man-made objects versus a organic one. So basically like the stress ball versus the plant. And for the third and final sketchbook drawing, it was an observational drawing of a pair of slippers and the floor of my dining room as well in that image. So this is my second lesson plan. This is the lesson that I chose to utilize the student for. The student is in the 4th grade, so this lesson plan was created in mind of like older elementary age children. It is the continuation of the intro to the very basics of clay. So in this lesson, I instructed my sister to create a pinch pot after learning about what slabs and pinch pots and coils were. And in this lesson, it was basically the focus and the introduction of how to utilize slip in a art context. So I had taught her how to attach the slabs and the coils to create this animal inspired pinch pot, and she resulted her project in a pinch pot that looked like a pig. And these are just some progress images of the creation of this pinch pot. So she started with just making the pinch pot out of the chunk of clay. She used her hands to knead into a bowl-like shape, and then she used water to smooth out the edges just to make it more the way that she wanted or that she had envisioned. Then she had cut slabs and coils into the shapes of like the ears, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and the tail. And then finally we created slip, so we added the clay to the water and mixed it and let it sit. And we utilized that slip to score and attach the slabs and the coils to create the facial features of the pig pinch pot.